Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Ty from No Picks Podcast.
What's good, family? Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Heather here, No Picks Podcast.
Welcome
All
back.
right, so right. Thanks for coming again, Heather.
No
Listen,
problemo.
today I want to talk to y'all about this recent Bill Maher interview. So he went on the View recently, and it's been making its rounds on cable news and clips on the internet and stuff like that. And I thought it would make sense because we're in this political season right now to talk about some comments that he made and some pushback that the View host kind of gave him, whatever. So I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna have a conversation about it. There's gonna be two separate clips, by the way. So I'm gonna pull up this first one. We're gonna talk about it. Then I'll pull up the second one. Both are pretty small though. So
Okay. Oh boy, what this bullshit now, man?
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Well, here's what I said. Like when I came back after the strike in September, I said, he should get out because he's just lost the faith in people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But I said, he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I used. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair.
all right. So that was the first part I wanted to bring up. This is a pretty common theme, right, amongst a lot of people on all these shows or whatever. But I'm gonna just open it up. Matter of fact, Heather, you ain't really a guest no more. You're really like a regular part of the show. So I'm gonna open it up. Hey Joe, what do you think of these comments that Bill Maher made on The View?
I mean, we've talked about this before. There's a compilation of Biden during his speeches where he's just like babbling, fumbling over words, mispronouncing words, forgetting dates. Like, how many times has this man fallen at a speech? You know what I mean? So like, his mental decline has been very clear for at least the past. It's gotten worse in the past year and a half. I feel like he's not like he hasn't gone Mitch McConnell yet, where he's just like.
Right.
Freezing up at whatever, you know what I mean? Because that was crazy.
That was crazy.
But like, no, I agree. He just visibly looks old. Even if Trump is, and I say Trump because Trump is killing him in the polls right now, and so even though Trump is around the same age as him, Trump does not present as old. Like, and I think that's a great way to express it the way Bill said, which is like, yeah, we're old, but like we don't present that way. Biden looks like he's in serious mental decline, and he doesn't see fit for another 4 years. That's my initial thought. Heather, what do you think?
So I think what's happening to Joe Biden goes against humanity. It goes against the way I believe elder people should be treated.
Right.
It goes against what I believe an older person of his position should be retired, either in a home or in their home, but living out their golden years, not in an active role, especially one of authority, or not having to work. Like, I don't think they should be working. I don't think Joe Biden's of the cognitive state to work. I think what they're doing to him is elderly abuse. I think every single person in his cabinet, in his every person at the table when they have a conversation with him need to be charged with contributing to the neglect of elderly abuse and contribution of elderly abuse, because they don't say anything. They just continue to accept. And they even cheer it on. And like the lady said, she said something to the effect of, he's smart or his brain is still functional.
Yeah.
No, the hell it's not. No, the hell it's not. It's on a very steadfast decline. And anybody who doesn't or refuses to acknowledge that is contributing to elder abuse also.
Right.
Something's happening on the screen there. Sorry. I don't know what that is. Did you see it?
No, you good.
Okay.
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Where you at, Ty?
I mean, I like a lot of things that Bill Maher says. I think Bill Maher sometimes he gets a bad rap because when he makes fun of the left, everybody on the left hates him. He makes fun of the right, everybody on the right hates him. But he's pretty clearly liberal, right? But I think that it's fair for him to make the comparison between Biden and Ruth Bader Ginsburg because she looked bad at the end, bro. Like she was like. She had this great career, but people, knew her name. She was like a feminist symbol, right? People wouldn't be a judge like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But at the end, it was just sad, and it was just like, it was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, like this isn't something that Biden can control, but we all know, right? Everybody that's potentially watch this knows everybody's 60 ain't the same.
Right.
So there are some people who are 60 and you see these motherfuckers jogging, running in a park. You know, I'm sure some 60-year-olds still banging their wives. You know what I mean? I don't know what, like, but you know, there are some 60-year-olds walking around with a cane. There are some 60-year-olds you'd be like, damn, bro, you look 80.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you look like you've been through all the world wars. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
it's unfortunate, it's unfair, but it is what it is. Like, you just, that's just the how the cookie crumbles sometime. And in this case, it crumbled against Biden. So it's
Yeah.
just it's a bad look for him when I see him up there talking about cannibals and his uncle getting eaten and shit like that. I'm like, bro, like what are we talking about here? Like he just maybe it was a movie he saw on Netflix or something. And he's like combining shit or something. Like I don't know, it's strange.
But
But
no.
yeah. So let me pull. Oh, go ahead.
No. I just wanna. I'm not gonna derail the conversation or go on
Yeah.
a tangent. And of course, I'm FJB. You know, what I mean, I've seen it all around YouTube, and now I've adopted it, FJB. But like,
What's
I
that?
also.
Fuck
I don't
Joe
want to say it.
Biden.
Oh.
Said it.
I didn't even know.
You don't see people in our videos with FJB. I'm like, yep.
Oh, I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
You know what? I saw it, but I didn't know what it stood for, so I
Well,
just
now you
ignored
know.
it. Like,
But what I'm gonna, so what I was gonna say is, I do agree that, I agree that Biden is too old. His mental faculties are declining.
yeah.
But do you feel like we've also like, I feel like we don't keep that same energy for like different parts of like different political like party like different like positions in government, right? Because
Yeah.
like I said, Mitch McConnell, look how old he is. We had, was it not, what's her name? She just retired. Damn near.
Feinstein,
Yeah,
Diane
look how
Feinstein. Yeah.
old she was, still
Yeah.
serving in Congress. So for me, it's just, and then look at our Congress in general. It's
Yeah.
mostly old white men. It's
Yeah.
old white women too, but it's mostly old white men. So I feel like, I don't know, man. We kind of set ourselves up for this because we're keeping Congress and the government so old and so like, so old. And I just wish there were term limits. I wish that people couldn't run indefinitely. I wish that we could get some fresh faces and
Right.
perspectives because I feel like some of these boomers and some of these much older people
Right.
are so out of touch with us. But that's why I'm saying we should just keep the same energy for all our
No,
politicians, though.
I
You know what I'm
agree,
saying?
but that's our dumbass fault as voters. So for example, so say McConnell's from Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
So the people in Kentucky love him, but everybody else is like, yo, this motherfucker's old. But you know what I mean? So it's like when
Right.
people vote these people in, they're like, oh, I like my guy, but that guy's old. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so they want you to vote that guy out because they didn't vote for that guy. So somebody in Georgia is like, yo, why y'all voting for McConnell? And then the people in Kentucky are looking at the people in what Diane Feinstein. She was from California. They're looking at them like, why you voting for this motherfucker? He old too. You just like him. You know what I mean? So it's just
Right.
it's like that guy sucks, but I like my guy. Something about him. He old as shit. He can't read no more on teleprompter or nothing. But
And
I
that's what I'm
still,
saying.
they just personally identify with him for some reason. That's why they die in office.
So don't you think like, so I think to some extent like we're also responsible for the president that we have. Well, of course we are. We voted for him. You
Right.
know what I
No,
mean?
we
It was a
didn't.
little-
No, we didn't.
No, wait, I'm not
No.
gonna stop. We're not doing the election fraud stuff here. We're
I'm
not gonna
just
get
saying.
into
I'm
that.
just
That's
saying.
a separate
That's
issue. That's
he
a,
did
we're
not
I
get
don't wanna
voted.
dive into it.
He
Well, I
was
voted for him. I
fraudulently
voted for
put
him.
into seat. He was fraudulently put into seat.
All right, wait. All right, but so before we get into this, let me pull up the other clip.
All
Because
right.
I think y'all going they're gonna like this.
All right.
Donald Trump, you can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree
And-
with me?
And I think a conservative once said to me, what you guys in the liberal side, this country, politics is, you only get two choices. And the stuff that they are afraid of, they see Donald Trump as a bulwark against, and that stuff is a lot closer to the home. It's like my kid is coming home from school and they're not allowed to tell me if they're transitioning. The school is going to take the side of the kid over the parent, stuff like that. There is a lot of crazy stuff on the left. This book, there's stuff that each side is going to like and probably stuff.
All right. So that was the other clip that I wanted to bring up because I thought it'd be a nice conversation piece or whatever. So I'm gonna start with you right now, Heather. What do you think of what Bill Maher said on the second clip?
So it clipped out a little bit, but from what I heard was he he, correct me if I'm wrong, he doesn't want to live in a country where he hates 50%, and the 50% that he hates are the Trump supporters. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, he basically was like, listen, you can not like Trump, but you can't not like everybody who votes for Trump, because that's like 50% of the country. He's like, so you can't demonize them and be like, oh, Trump sucks, and then all the people who voted for Trump suck, which is what they tend to do.
Right.
Deplorables,
Yeah.
like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. I don't know much about this guy. He's not somebody I've heard of him. I've seen him a few times, but not somebody I follow. But what I would say is that if he doesn't like the country, to pick one that he does like and go there. If that is truly how he feels. Listen, we have a very easy exit policy. You're able to take one ways, and if that's the direction you see best fit for you, then by all means catch that flight out, my friend. And
No, he was saying Heather. He was saying they're not bad people.
he's saying that they're not bad people.
Yeah, he's like no, they're not. But he's like you guys try to demonize them, but they're not bad people. They just
okay.
Yeah.
So I missed my computer glitch. I'm so sorry. I missed half that. I'm trying to argue a point that I'm trying to argue a point that I didn't even hear. So sorry. So if as a liberal he is saying that you can't demonize the half the world who does support Trump. Then I would argue that this would be one of the things I agree with him on, and that if he's saying that they're not that bad or not bad people, I agree 100%, and I welcome his support to the right side whenever he's ready.
Right. What do you think, Joe?
I think it never works when you demonize the voter base.
Right.
It doesn't work, right? In fact, their voter base becomes more emboldened.
Yeah.
They feel more empowered. Like, people will go out with shirts saying, "I'm a proud deplorable." You know what I mean? When the left tried to, when liberals tried to demonize people who were supporting Bernie Sanders, we were Bernie bros. I was a Bernie bro. But wait, they took that as a badge of honor. Like, they were calling him sexist, misogynist, like all these things when Hillary was running and trying to spin this identity politics bullshit. So when you demonize a certain voter demographic, you kind of embolden them. Then you make them stand firmer in their beliefs and in their convictions, and they're going to end up voting the same way. You're not going to, you know what I mean? So I agree that I don't want to live in a country where people who are, there are a lot of ways to describe people who are voting for Trump. One of them is lovely people.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I don't want to, like, they're not all, because like Tyree said before, some people are just voting Trump just because they hate the Democrats.
Yeah.
Like, it's legit. Like, listen, I might not like Trump, I just hate them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna, so everybody has different reasons. Republicans are not a monolith. Everybody's different. Everybody reaches that place for different reasons. So, I agree with him. And he said the left, liberals. I hate saying the left because Democrats are on the further left end of the spectrum, but they're not left, right? But they have stuff that we don't like either. You know, we've talked about that. This whole stuff with like the transgender community, the stuff with like the drag shows in schools, the stuff with like pornographic content in books that are being allowed in libraries, the stuff with like, gay relationships in like Disney shows or kids shows. You know what I mean? Like, there's some stuff that the left does or liberals do that I'm just like, I would vote against you just for that alone. So that's that. So I agree with Bill. I don't want to live. Yeah, I agree with him. Like, you can't just demonize the entire voter base. You can't.
It's so weird how like time just changes things, right? So because I think like I remember specifically when I was in college, right? I identified morally with the Democrats heavy. Like, I was like, yo, I was there with them all the way.
Same.
But now I'm like, y'all sound fucking ridiculous.
Right.
So now I identify with Republicans morally now. And it's so strange because my views haven't fucking changed. But, like, the Democrats have gotten so weird. And I don't even know if I identify with the Republicans more. But I just know when they're the group in power, right? Or one of the groups in power, and they're saying that other group is crazy, and they actually are crazy, it makes me look at you favorable, because I'm like, oh shit, I agree, they are fucking crazy. So I guess I should vote for you, because you also think that shit is crazy.
Right.
So he mentioned in the thing, I don't know if you heard this part or not, but he was like, a lot of people are not voting for Trump because they like him, they vote for him because they don't like the shit that the woke mob is doing or whatever. And he brought up specifically the stuff in school. And he was like, a kid could basically go to school and be like, say, I'm Sam. Hey, I want to be known as Samantha. Right. And then the school has to like treat them that, and they don't have to treat them in that way.
Parents.
They don't have to tell the parents. That's fucking crazy. That's insane.
No.
So that's some bullshit. So it's like, why would you? And the left supports this shit. The right is like, no, the parents should know. Yeah. Why would they not know? It's not. It doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes
So
sense. None of it makes sense. And as a parent, let me be the first to tell you, if that shit happened with my children, the scene, I'm not a violent, I wouldn't project violence, but let me tell you something. There's a possibility that I'd find out where they live. There's a possibility that they wouldn't be welcomed to teach anymore because I would create such a hype. My school system where I'm at, I'm pretty fortunate, are more red leaning
right.
viewing people, and for that, my son is the only one that goes to public school. All my other kids and he's not going to after this year. After this year he will be homeschooled, just because of how bad it's getting. Like, we're finishing the last piece of the school year and he's already got his enrollment to be schooled at home next year. It is so bad, the indoctrination and what they're trying to teach our children, and the level to which they're going about trying to hide things and mask things and normalize things that are not normal and then hide it from the parents. I can't see sending my kids to public schools anymore.
Right. Ain't it weird though? Ain't it weird? Think about this. The left, or the woke people, which is typically the left, or liberals, like you mentioned, or whatever, they want you to sympathize with whatever their cause is, but they don't give a shit about what your cause is. It's not reciprocal. It's not an equal exchange. It's like no.
Right.
Like they want to have the moral high ground and then just have you and shut you the fuck up.
Right, you have to respect their pronouns. You have to respect who they want, what they want, their demands. And you have to be labeled as cis. If you're not trans, you're cis, right? And so and then trans women are women, and trans men are men. No, you're not. Like, no, you're not. And please don't teach that to my fucking children.
And if you don't agree with that, then you're the asshole.
Right.
Like, you're the bigot. You're the piece of shit.
Right, I'm
like,
the piece of shit.
How does this make sense?
No,
And
it
you
doesn't.
look at countries like Peru, and I don't want to go off on this tangent because I'm always worried when we talk about certain things if YouTube's gonna flag us or ban us for a couple days. But like, if you guys have seen, Peru was one of the countries that recently they just signed into law that transgenderism is mental illness.
Yeah,
so now they see people who identify as transgender as mentally ill. It's like law now. So now they're classified as mentally ill. So like,
we should do the same thing.
I'm not saying that's where I'm at, but I'm just saying there are people who look at it very differently. And
but it wasn't. No, go. My bad.
I was gonna say I just don't want a small, like, they're like a fraction of our population. They're not even probably a percent. We're probably like decimals of our population. I don't want policy to be shaped by that small demographic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to bully them and strip them of power because they're so small, but I also don't want that small demographic shaping or trying to reshape society in the way that we speak and the way that we think about things. I'm not okay with that. I'm not. So
the problem is, you say it's a small, the transgender community itself might be small, but the education system starts at the top, and they're the ones that are okay with and influencing and putting on a pedestal this lifestyle from a small children's age. So it's not so much the trans community directly, it's our whole education system starting at the top, when the superintendent allowed these stupid books to be brought into the curriculum, who allowed for the visuals in these books to be showed in classes. It's so high, it's so embedded, and to be honest, that started so long ago, and with the white man who wanted to stay in power. And when you're ready for that conversation, we can have it.
Well, listen. This is it's strange to me. Like, okay, so both of y'all are old enough to remember Maury when Maury. It's still out on TV now, but when it was new.
It's on Nosy. It's on Nosy. I have the app. The app.
So y'all remember on Maury? Say you sitting there and watching an episode of Maury, you're a kid, maybe 12, 13, 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
A person comes out, let's say a man dressed as a woman, right? And they come out and they're talking to Maury, and they're like, well, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. It was just kind of universally understood, like, okay, this person's crazy. Okay, cool. I get it. Like, I get you have some kind of mental issue, and it was just like, it wasn't even a conversation to be had. Like, just saying the statement, "I'm a man trapped in another body," just automatically triggered. Like, we didn't even have to understand. We didn't have to go in the back room and be like, "Oh, okay, cool. This person's," or we agree that this. No, we just all understood. Like, just the same. Like, hey, you know what? When the fucking sun comes out, then it's daytime, right? Like, it was just a fact back then. Now it's like, well, we don't really know. It's kind of like you don't know, because now sex and gender are two different things. Like, bro, what is how did they become different? Like, like, but anyway, let's wrap it up because I don't want this joint to be too long.
Well,
all right. Well, go ahead.
No, so yeah, like to just bring it back, well, not bring it back because every time we go on tangents, they're all related to what we're
Yeah.
talking about. But like, no, I'm with it. I guess I'll share my final thought, which is I
Mm.
agree with Bill Maher. I do know of him. I used to love him back then. I think that he
Yeah.
brings intellectuals and political people from all across the
Right.
political spectrum on his show. I love the dialogues that he have. I don't like him anymore. I think he's become too establishment for me. I think he's too arrogant, too snobby. I think he's out of his wealth has insulated him and made him kind of out of touch with the
Right.
general with the average person, right? So I don't like him now, but in this instance, I agree with him. And I think that you shouldn't demonize that voting base, and they're just going to become they're
Yeah.
keep calling them deplorable. They're going to have shirts, proud deplorables. You know what I mean? Like, listen, they will be more emboldened. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say that.
All right, what do you think, Heather?
I agree with Joe on everything he said, and I'll finish and wrap up his thought with this: Trump 2024, baby. Trump
Wrap up his
2024,
thought.
baby.
They're
Right
on
back,
the
right
stage,
back.
family. I'm not there, but they are. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Listen, I loved what he said. I loved him saying it on a View because I'm sure that shit was eating their fucking hearts up. They probably was just like, "Yo, you son of a bitch!" Like, but yeah, I love it. Loved the message. And that episode, from what I saw, was pretty cool. Sometimes most of their shit's ridiculous and they make dumbass commentary. But anyway, this was cool.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Anyway, family, like, comment, subscribe, share. Definitely comment. We like going at it. I mean, we like arguing. That's kind of what we do. And until next time.
You got
All right,
it.
y'all.
See ya.
Yeah.